we're back to what has admittedly become my favorite place to film videos on the farm because it's the best grass. And I always feel good about putting the animals down here in this kind of bottom area because there's a ton of grass, there's a lot of clover, and it would be great if the whole farm looked like this. Unfortunately, it doesn't. So we've got work to do. We're coming down to our last pass around the farm where we're going to be able to graze, because we're just running out of grass. The combination of being stocked a little too heavy, about 3 animals too heavy for most of this season, mixed with that 4-month drought, and now we're still in drought. We just haven't gotten the regrowth. We've been eating it down too far, and now we're starting to feel the effects. Whereas last year, I feel like we really grazed. I have to go back and look, but we grazed to January, or at least into December, and now we're going to be done by end of November at the latest. So, lessons learned. And I wish I could say that I discovered these, but really it's been told to me through books and smart people that have done this before, and I didn't heed the warning. Thought I would, know better myself, and that I'd figured it out for our farm, and I could do what I thought I would do. And turns out, guess what? The smart people that have been doing this for a long time were right. So, lesson learned. Big lesson. We are going to be stocked less heavy next year. This year we carried about 12 to 13 animal units through the whole year, and next year we're going to shoot for 9. So that is going to be a 30%-ish decrease. I never had to brush hog this year. We never got really seed heads forming on any of the grass. The grass has always been really palatable for the animals. It's been soft. It hasn't gotten overly mature, but with that being said, it never got as tall as it should have. The stands of grass never filled out like I would have wanted. Our clover that we seeded over the winter, while a lot of it came up well, we just weren't giving it enough rest. So, we got good areas of clover and grass all over the place, especially down here in the bottoms and areas that weren't as harshly affected by the drought. But in the drier areas, that clover's just been eaten down to the ground too many times. I'm afraid it's not going to come back. We'll have to wait and see in the spring. I'm sure there's still seed in the seed bank, and if we do a little better with our rest periods next year, I think we'll be all right. But we're harvesting 3 steers, 1, 2, and 3. Right yonder. And they're doing well. They look good to me. They're going to the butcher in about a little more than a month. So they are finishing well from what I can see. We're going to probably have to feed them a little bit of hay. We got some alfalfa orchard grass mixed hay to feed these last week or two, just to make sure they're getting everything they need, because some of the places that we're going to go here and in front of them just don't have enough grass to sustain putting on weight. So we're going to have to supplement some hay. We're going to end up probably feeding a good amount of hay through the winter just to sustain the animals. But once we get rid of these 3 to the butcher, plus old Salt over there, the Hereford, she's finally going. She's just getting culled. And that brings us down 4 animals to go through the winter, which should be helpful. Then we'll be down to our 3 breeding mamas and their babies, which is going to be our food for the next long while. We've also got the sheep that are getting ready to lamb here within the next month. Experiment number 2 of the season is lambing both in the spring and the fall, which people say can be hard on the ewes, and I understand that, but right now they're looking really good. They're carrying good weight, they're in good condition. They're just now starting to bag up a little bit, so we expect to see them lambing here in the next month. Hopefully they lamb early enough where we get decent weather and it's not too cold. So I don't think I'll be doing this again with the two lambing seasons, but we'll see. We'll see what the lamb crop looks like, and then we'll be harvesting these spring lambs that are now about 6 months old. We'll be harvesting them in about 2 months. So lots of food going into the freezer. But once again, the lesson is stock less densely than I planned for. I was stocked perfectly through the spring. If you watched those videos, we were just right where we wanted to be in the spring. And then I should have either destocked, which I didn't really have the option to do that too well, or we should have just had less animals to start with, and then I would have ended up mowing or bush hogging, the stuff we didn't get to keep it palatable, which is what we'll be doing next year. Trying to get this grass to finally take off, to get some good deep roots. I'm taking soil samples for the first time, and by I'm taking, I mean I'm going to take. So I'm committing that. I've said that for the last year or two. I'm finally going to do it. To see what we need, because we're obviously deficient in certain areas. There's certain areas of the ground, like here, that just don't want to grow too good. I get it, it's a little bit on an incline, you can't see it on the video, but get some wind and some water runoff and stuff like that. But it should still be doing better, especially with all that lime we put on last year. So we're going to do the soil test, see what we need. We're going to amend this soil over the winter. And that, coupled with appropriate numbers of animals next year, I am once again ever optimistic for the perfect season. Don't know if it'll ever happen, but either way, the animals that are going to the butcher here in a month, I'm excited about. They look really good. Even the subpar animals we've taken by our standards have been so good. So these guys are looking good and fat, and I just can't wait to see how this turns out. One of the last beautiful days we have of the fall. It's November something. What is it? The 7th, 8th? Upper 60s. Tomorrow's gonna be low 70s. But then next week we start dropping into the 40s and lows and 20s and 30s at night. So it's coming. Winter is coming. Enjoy it while we got it. What a beautiful day. Could just sit out here all day.